I, 24 male, have been left by my ex, 24 female, of 5 years. From what I thought, we had a very loving and committed relationship from 2016 to 2021. We were friends for a while before we started dating, so we always had a lot in common and got along very well. The first 4 years of our relationship were amazing. I've never fallen head over heels in love with someone like that before. And I thought she was smart, funny, and astonishingly attractive in her very own way. The sex was magic. It was all game in the bedroom and never a disappointment for the both of us. But the way we showed each other our love was even better. I'm not sure if this was a mistake, but I decided to give her a promise ring a couple months after we started dating. The ring was not a promise to be engaged, but a promise to be faithful and true to one another while we were together. She gave me one, and I was determined to show her that I was truly in love with her. My ex had been cheated on in a previous relationship. I felt as if I wanted to show her what real love was. We spent a lot of time together even though we lived in different cities. Her parents liked me and mine did as well. She had been with lots of other guys before me, though she always told me that I am the best I've ever had and I've never been with a guy that loves me like you do. So, I was super thrilled by that, and even more determined to prove my faith towards her. We had realized we had some issues with trust throughout the years, but everything else seemed awesome. About 3 years ago, everything was still going great with her, and one day I got a phone call from her. I answered like always. I said hello and didn't get a response, but I could hear stuff in the background. I could hear her there, and it sounded like she was with another guy. I could make out some heavy breathing, and then the words muffled of a guy saying, "Are you okay?" I started yelling her name, suspecting that she was in fact with another man. The call suddenly ended. She called me back 15 minutes later telling me that she got sick at work and her boss was wondering if she was okay while she was sick in the washroom. It felt really sus, but I ended up believing her after all. After that, things were back to normal, but I always had the audio of the call stuck in my head. Fast forward to 2019, my parents decided to move from the house they had lived in for over 16 years and decided they needed a change of location. I had to move out into my own place if I wanted to stay close to where my ex was. I asked her to move out with me, and she said that she was not ready to move out yet. Come 2020, after a year living by myself and working full-time, I had decided that I wanted to go back to school and go for a bachelor's degree. I had the opportunity to move out to my parents' place so I could go back to school rent-free, which is about 2.5 hours away from my current where my ex and I lived. Earlier that year I told her that I wanted to go back to school to better myself and find something that I really enjoyed learning. She was happy about that and I had her support. Until 2 months before I left, my ex came to my house telling me that she did not love me anymore and that she was leaving me because she basically didn't want to deal with long distance. Of course, she came back about 3 days later crying into my arms asking me to take her back. I took her back. 2 months later, I was finally living at my parents' place. I had transferred through my work over to my new location. Things between me and my ex were getting hard with long distance. I had feelings of anxiety that she wasn't fully in it anymore, and I was right. I got a call from her again about 3 months after the last situation telling me that this was it, that we would not continue to be in a relationship together. We went at the most 2 weeks with no contact until she messaged me again and tried her luck. I was alone. I felt lost without her. I took her back. Come 2021, we spent the first 5 months working on repairing what we had lost. I was so busy with starting school that I did not even see her for 5 months since we got back together. When we did get together, again, it was magic. It always was. I felt like what we had was blooming again. I actually got her interested in some of the things I like to do and we bonded really well through that. We celebrated my birthday and went on a trip together and it was all feeling really good. In October of 2021 when my ex was back in her city, she told me over the phone that she had caught feelings for someone else. It was her co-worker 37 male that she had been working with for 4 years. She said she wanted to break it off because she thought it was not fair to have feelings for someone else while she was with me. I agreed, but didn't want her to leave again. I couldn't believe how much older he was than her. I had the suspicion that she was not in love with me anymore as she just stops texting and becomes a terrible communicator. We broke it off, and what do you know? Yes, you know, she came back, even faster than the other times. She told me she still loved me just as much as when I met her, and that it was the fact that I was not in the same place as she was. I took her back. A week went by and I got another call from her while I was at work. She told me that it's over. She told me that she had cheated on me with the guy for the last 2 months. It broke me into pieces. I was disgusted and possibly the most angry I've ever been in my life. She gave me about 3 days until she hit me up asking me to come back to her. At the time, all I wanted was to forget that she even cheated on me and just make things right with her. After all, I still really felt like I had met the girl of my dreams, even though there was an affair. After this point, we broke up more time and made up again up until now. Yesterday, I went back to her city to see her. When I arrived, she had told me that her other dude had arrived at her house apologizing to her parents, but brought flowers, a cake, and a letter for her. I thought that was fucking weird. We got a hotel room and told each other how much we loved each other even after everything we've been through. The night was filled with sex, compliments on my body, how attractive I am, how good we look together, and how much better I am than him. There was an element of sadness because of her guilt, but she was buttering me up all night. We woke up the next morning, and she drove me to the ferry. She told me she was planning to come and see me in a couple days when she dropped me off. We made out, said our goodbyes, and she promised that she would come back out and she'd see me in 2 days. When I got back to my city, she was not answering me and I knew what was about to happen. I got texts from her saying how she can't leave him, and how as long as he lives she's going to love him. My heart fell deeper than ever when she texted me it's been going on for years. My ex has been with another man for over half the length of our 5-year relationship. She told me she hooked up with him for the first time in Christmas of 2017 about 3 years ago. Oh yeah, and that call I got. Yeah, I should have known that she was making up another bullshit story. She was fucking him then. I know, I should have gone with my gut. If you're still reading this, I want you to know that I was madly in love with this person. We talked about our future together, kids, and marriage. I never thought she would do something like this to me, for real. I know I don't have any self-respect for myself taking her back. I'm not sure exactly how to move on from this. She was my first real love. I am in a lot of pain and looking for guidance and insight. Thank you for your time. Talked with the wife of the person my wife cheated on me with. So today I told my 35 male wife 33 female of 14 years that I informed the wife of the guy that she was in a relationship with about what's going on. Back when I was deployed for the army in 2010 my wife met somebody online and then met him in person. They had, according to her, an emotional and not very physical relationship. Our daughter was 1 year old at the time so I worked on the relationship and we moved past her infidelity at the time. She swears there is no intercourse but just touching and kissing and things like that when they actually met. Fast forward another 10 years and at the beginning of August I found that they had reconnected online and were planning on meeting up while I was away on a trip. So since that time we've been separated, but as we now have 3 kids we are trying to make things work. My wife has mental illness issues and previous trauma from when she was abused sexually as a child. So I'm fairly understanding that her actions are symptoms of what she's been through, but understand that she is still making the choices that she makes. On Sunday she asked that I help her not contact this individual anymore. I've been supportive and helpful so that she can get to a good mental state so that both of us can then decide whether or not we want to continue our relationship or get a divorce. I was reading some of the posts on this sub and saw a lot of comments on letting the other party know what's taking place. So I searched online and found the wife of the guy that she's been cheating on me with. Yesterday I called her on the phone and let her know what her husband has been doing behind her back. Let's call her Kay. I sent Kay screenshots of their emails and text conversations. Kay was obviously shocked to find out that this was going on and again that this happened back in 2010. So today I told my wife about the conversation I had with Kay. My wife freaked out. I know that because of her mental state she's not stable and she has told me that she's not sure who she wants at this point. I know a lot of it was shock and embarrassment for my wife that now Kay knows. But I just want to make sure that I'm not crazy in having contacted Kay as well as now considering the divorce without my wife being in a solid mental state because her reaction showed exactly what I feared. She cares more about their relationship than ours. Story 3. Wife cheated but never regretted. I was with my wife for 7 years and we have a son together. In my opinion, we had a wonderful life. The love, trips, family, communication. However, recently I discovered that my wife cheated on me with her colleague and had several affairs. I was shocked beyond comprehension as I knew that she could have never done this. Then I was reading about narcissists and everything about her was true. The gaslighting, the lies, the deceit, the drama. Making me realize that I was at fault, keeping me away from family, etc. The day when I found about her cheating, I told her parents and mine, but when was caught she never regretted destroying such a lovely family. The poor kid is suffering in between and she took her. It's been 8 months and she never even apologized. She even tried to put a false case against me, thus I had to file a police complaint to sort the issue. She believes that she has done nothing wrong, but she has confessed on her extramarital affair, but she acts like so what? And then I got to know about many more affairs. She believes that I am asking about her past life, but this all happened when we were married. How can people act so dumb? I maintain no contact with her, but there is hovering or anything. I am taking things legally, but am really very hurt at her actions.